Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Travel, Explore, Celebrate Life with your hosts, Neil and Sunila. Well, we've come to Sunila 25 episodes now, and
Mhm.
I think that's our first milestone. We aim to do
Yes.
more and more episodes every week, but since the start of the year, we started this podcast. We've had hundreds and hundreds of listens from all of you, so thank you so much. But today, we're going to talk about the future, and we're going to talk about India's future. We're going to talk about the top 10 or top, maybe, yes, a few of them, the top upcoming tourist attractions in India. And Sunila, there are so many, right? There's like so many that have been proposed by the government of India, by the state governments, and
Mhm.
there is this huge push towards tourism all across the state of Maharashtra here, all across the state of India. And both the governments are really trying to push tourism. And there are many things that have been planned, or there have been many things that have been completed over the last 2 years. So, where do you think, what is a good point to start, Sunila?
Hi, Neil, and hi, everybody. I think the best point to start, Neil, would be something that we can actually see and feel, something that has come true right now, like the latest thing to that has been opened for all of us. So I think let's start with that. And I'm speaking of the Mumbai Pune Deccan Express. I mean, all of us travel so much from Mumbai to Pune to Lonavala on the way to so many places. But now we have another reason to travel, and as you know, I'm talking of I think on June 26th, like really recently last month, the railways threw open the Vista Dome coach for us. So finally, I'm so happy. Finally, we have a coach. Otherwise, whenever you visit Switzerland, you want the scenic railways. And when you go to Japan, you want rotating seats in the bullet train. And now we have it all. So I think the Vista Dome is a good point to start.
Yeah, I think I saw a video on WhatsApp about it, and then it looked really nice because those big windows that, and Mumbai Pune, the rail journey is quite picturesque, right? Like you go through the Sahyadris, and you have, like, if
Yeah.
you're going during the rainy season, it's incredible. But one of the things I really liked about the train that has come up is that there are revolving seats, right? So the
Yes.
seats revolve 360 degrees. So when it's not that, back in the day when we used to go Mumbai, Pune, you would often be gunning that, oh, I hope I have a seat that is facing the direction of travel. Otherwise, you just feel
Right.
like you're in a roller coaster and, like, the train's going one way and you're facing the other way. But this is not going to happen in these new coaches, I hope. And that is actually a good point to start. And, all of us go to Pune by car. And I think this might be a good incentive to just go and try out this new train, because I think it will be a very interesting thing, and it just shows how, like, our government is trying to push more and more tourism even between the two main cities, that is Mumbai and Pune.
Yeah, Neil, I really agree because, think of it, it'll take so many cars off it has the potential to take cars off the road, improve our environment. And traveling in the monsoons anywhere in Maharashtra is really wonderful, but especially on the expressway. I mean, we've seen it, right? When we go from Mumbai to Pune on the expressway and you're passing those mountains and little streams everywhere. So now you can actually have that on the train as well. I remember traveling by train in childhood and always fighting for the window seat or being so disappointed when you didn't get your window seat. And so now there's a chance with this Vistadome coach. So I think every train, it's a daily train. Each train will have one coach, which is this special Vistadome coach, which means that the roof is going to be of glass. So you have a glass roof. You have these really wide, windows, and you have seats that rotate. So I think it's the perfect way to enjoy the monsoons, just sit in there and really enjoy the views. So
Yeah,
I definitely hope
I'm,
to.
I'm glad the Indian Railways actually took up the initiative and did this, because it's really good. And then, Mumbai Pune the road journey is also going to go shorter because they are planning a bypass on the expressway that bypasses Lonavala, and then you go direct to Pune. That's going to reduce the time by about 28 minutes. What's
Mhm.
next on our list?
I think, Neil, since we're speaking of a train that has just come into Mumbai, let's look at what other things. And there are some really amazing, monuments that we will get to see in the near future and in Mumbai itself. So let's start from there. We have two statues coming up. Let's start with one of them.
Okay, perfect. So if we are in Mumbai, and if a statue is coming up, let's talk about the statue that is coming up at Shivaji Park in Mumbai, and that is Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, right? Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about it.
Neil, so this statue is also going to be known as the Statue of Equality. And it's again, it's proposed to be a really tall statue, like really tall. I think most of us will be able to see it from our homes as well, or from a distance for sure, because the proposed height is something like 137 meters, or which is 450 feet, which is massive. And I think it'll be an amazing memorial to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who drafted the Constitution of India. And this is going to be at Hindu Mills in Prabhadevi in Mumbai. So what they're planning to do, of course, is along with having a statue, and this will be connected to Chaitya Bhumi, so which will make it so much easier to manage the crowds also for all the followers of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. And there will be a stupa there, which is supposed to be the most expensive part of it, and which will be really amazing, 140 feet tall. So I really look forward to seeing that. And there will be a Vipassana hall as well, so you can actually go there and meditate a little, experience Vipassana. We don't have to go too far to experience that. So that's going to be something quite nice. And I think they're planning another gallery of struggle, which should show all the different moments and associations of the life of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So I think it'll be a really fitting tribute to him, and
So,
let's look forward to
so
that.
Sunila, how tall is the statue you said?
It says, so from whatever I have found, they say that it's going to be something like 450 feet or 137.3 meters to be
So, okay, to
precise.
put that into perspective, the
Hmm.
Statue of Liberty, which we used to think is whoa, really tall,
Hmm.
is actually just 151 feet or 46 meters high. So
Wow.
this is going to be
Wow.
quite tall.
So
And
it's like three times at least,
yeah, I
of
think
that, more than
like
three times.
we
Yeah.
are like just going for records, right? That okay,
Yeah.
like tallest statue in the world, second tallest, third tallest. But okay, I there is another statue coming up in Mumbai, but currently, which is the tallest statue in the world? That is also in India, and that has recently opened up.
That is the recent tourist attraction, I think, which has wowed everyone, and that is, of course, the Statue of Unity. So it's like you said, yeah, it makes you feel quite proud, right? The tallest statue in the world is in India, and this is in Gujarat, in Kevadia on the Narmada River. And you can see this statue and actually go up to a viewing gallery there. So, I'm talking of the Statue of Unity, which is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue. And again, there are so many things to do in and around the statue itself. So, the whole idea of staying in tents came up with the run of Kutch. And when you went to see in this whole in Kutch, the White Desert, and which is nothing but actually it's not a desert, it's the sand that you see. And that's how the whole idea of staying in tents came up. And now at Narmada also you have the tent city Narmada, and I think a lot of people really enjoy that. They go in there and they spend a lot of time in and around the statue with a lot of programs and other things to do in the tent city as well. And you can climb up, go to the viewing gallery. There is a Valley of Flowers there, there's a Wall of Unity, there's a laser light and sound show, so museums and so many other things to do. And close by you can always visit the dam, the Sardar Sarovar dam as well. And then there is a jungle safari that you can go, which Neil actually has like this I haven't been there, but I've heard that they have like this bridge and you can see a lot of birds from there as well. So I think
I mean,
it's really quite amazing.
I'm just amazed at like the vision when we were creating, like the government was creating the Statue of Unity, because you know currently it is the tallest statue in the world by like 180 feet. The second tallest
Yeah.
is the Spring Temple Buddha in China, right?
Mm.
But the Statue of Unity, dad was recently there. Well, recently is probably January or February. He went to check it out and he was like, just the surrounding area has developed so much because this being a tourist attraction, so many people are going there.
Right.
And he showed me photos of from the viewing gallery and
Mhm.
also of the light and sound show. So that was actually something that I am just amazed at how beautiful this is. But I was talking about the second tallest statue in the world, which is the Spring Temple Buddha, which is, according to what I've pulled up over here,
Mhm.
128 meters. Now,
That's right.
let's come back to Mumbai.
Mhm.
And we are going to have another statue in Mumbai, which was supposed to be of a certain height, but because we wanted to up China on this one, the height of it was reduced by I think 2 meters, if I'm not wrong. Tell
It
us.
was increased by 2 meters,
Yeah,
Neil.
it was increased,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, like, this is the statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So
correct.
tell us, it's in the sea, right?
Yes, Neil, it's going to be so amazing because they're planning to build it on a man-made island of rocks right in the sea. And it should be, I guess they will call it the Shiv Smarak or the Shivaji Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Smarak, or the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Memorial. And again, it's they say that they were planning a height of some 210 meters, which is 690 feet height, but because they wanted to make sure that we stay the second highest in the world and go above the spring temple Buddha, they increased it by 2 meters, so it's going to be 212 meters from the base to the tip. And again, along with being a statue, it's not going to be just a statue that you can see from here. You can actually go there, visit there, and there should be a memorial garden, a library, a food court. I was reading that there might be, what Mumbai is known for is food, so the cow gullies of Mumbai will be out there as well, all together. A convention center, which should be pretty amazing to have a convention right out there in the sea. Museum, amphitheater, name it. And I think they're really planning quite a bit there. So hopefully from the coast, as we drive towards in Mumbai, we should be able to see it as well, and then take a ferry and go and visit it. And we look forward to that. And the most amazing thing is that while they were building it, the volunteers actually went and collected soil from a lot of where Shivaji's forts are built, and the water came from all the different rivers of the state as well, and they laid the foundation for this project. And of course that was in the news quite a bit. So hopefully we shall have the second tallest statue and the first tallest in India itself. So
Yeah, I
it'll
mean
be really
that
amazing.
will be incredible. But well, I was trying to find out when this is actually going to come up, but then there are
Mhm.
different dates that are thrown up. So I think let's leave that to like when we'll see in the future. So we don't really know when that's going to come up. But now we have discussed Maharashtra, we have discussed Gujarat, and because there is a long-term project that has been in the works of getting from Maharashtra to Gujarat, there is the Mumbai Ahmedabad bullet train project also, right?
Yes.
So that's also something that is going to be coming up. Like from what I know, construction began in 2020 as
Mhm.
we were in the pandemic, and I think it is expected to complete by 2023, right? What do you have any notes on this one, or it's all?
That's that's all I've heard as well, and I'm really hoping that it comes through because I think it's a matter of pride that something that exists in the world somewhere in a city is coming to India as well. I mean, I think almost, well, not almost, 20 years back when I was in UK and in London. And in London you want to travel by the metro everywhere, right? So you go everywhere on the tube, as they call it. And there is this whole thing about the tube with the announcements that always say mind the gap, and then that goes on to t-shirts, and you have tube poetry, and there is this whole ecosystem that exists around the tube. And I used to always wonder, when will we see a metro or a tube in India and in Mumbai? And of course Delhi has it, Kolkata has it, but our own city Mumbai, and that is also happening right in front of our eyes. So it's quite amazing to see that the railways are building this. There is construction happening, there are things happening. So yes, we will have our metro and we'll have our bullet train as well. And I for one can't wait to go to Ahmedabad. I think visiting Ahmedabad for Dandiya, and the other, because it's really hot otherwise. So the winters, if we can go in and actually use the bullet train, it'll cut down travel so much. It'll just
Yeah,
bring all of us together.
it's going to be a 650-kilometer long high speed corridor, and then the
Mhm.
maximum speed or the operating speed is going to be approximately 320 kilometers per hour, which is quite fast. Like, and that is something that will be exciting for all tourists going between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. And also the corporate travel that happens between these two
Yeah.
cities will increase, right? Okay, now let's go north. What's something new that has come up in the north?
So, Neil, in the north, if we say again, coming back to, I think you're talking, there are two things that have come up, and one is a tunnel and one is a bridge. What do you want to take up first?
let's talk about the tunnel, because we spoke of
Uh-huh.
like trains right now. So let's talk about a tunnel that has eased like road travel.
Yes, and it's going to be amazing for tourism right up in the north. And I think our listeners know we are talking about the Atal Tunnel, which was inaugurated recently also. And we've actually had people traveling there, so it's really quite nice. And the road that connects from Manali to Leh, this is the tunnel is right on this road in the Pir Panjal range of the Himalayas. And the best part is it has cut down travel time drastically. And I think saving time today, especially when you're traveling, yes, you want to sometimes take the longer journey and be lost on the road, enjoy things as you go. That is different. But just having to be stuck because the road conditions are not good, or because the weather is not good, or for other reasons, it's not really pleasant. And the Atal Tunnel cut down this travel times for something like 4 to 5 hours, which is really something. Like now, a road that took you 7 hours, 6 to 7 hours, is just a 2 hour journey, and so pleasant. I mean, at 9 kilometers, which you can cover in like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, I think that is something really stunning, and
Yeah,
this will be superb for Leh Ladakh. So I'm really happy about that.
many of the Veena World guests have also had the opportunity of like taking this tunnel while going from Manali to Leh. So that is exciting. And many of our guests will also be taking this tunnel like over the next few months. So we are quite excited about that. The Veena World tour managers are also excited about that. Now let's come to a bridge. What
Mhm.
was that?
And Neil, the bridge and the tunnel again, the tunnel is at a height of like more than 10,000 feet. So it makes it the longest tunnel in the world. So I think that
So,
is,
so highest tunnel in the world, you mean?
yeah, I mean, the longest tunnel at a height of about 10,000 feet.
Oh, okay.
So when you're thinking of high tunnels,
Yeah.
in the mountains, so about 10,000 feet, this is the longest tunnel in the
Oh,
world.
wow. I didn't know
So
that.
that is something stunning. And the next one also that we are going to be talking about is something that was again in the news recently, and we can really look forward to this one as well, is in Jammu and Kashmir. And we are talking of the bridge over the river Chenab, which is also known as the Chenab rail bridge. Again, it is the world's highest rail bridge. So now we have the world's highest statue, we have the longest tunnel at a height, and we have the world's highest rail bridge as well. So it's really stunning to see that happen. And I think from what my notes say, this bridge is between Bakkal and Kauri in Jammu and Kashmir. And it's really an engineering marvel because it is an arch bridge. So I think it took a lot of planning to get this executed so well, but we're so proud of it, right? I mean, at
You know,
359 meters, it is taller than the Eiffel Tower. So
when
wow.
you see the photos of this bridge, you
Mhm.
realize what an engineering marvel it actually is. And it took the government a long time to actually build it, but now that it's there, it's just connected so many parts of India, like decrease the time to go between places and all of that. So that's great. And it is just going to enable more tourists to travel to different places and explore different parts of incredible India, as we have been calling it. Now, as we close in towards the end, but I would like to know from you. There are so many rivers in India, and you have
Mhm.
mentioned that there are many riverside projects that are part of the government's initiatives to
Mhm.
promote tourism in India. Some notable mentions, you think?
Yes, Neil. So, in the as long as the rivers are concerned, I think um, we, in a way, we personify our rivers, right? We call it the Mother Ganges and things like that. So we've always worshipped our rivers. I mean, if you see at Varanasi, at other places, we go and we actually pray to the river. I mean, the Ganga Aarti is something that is famous everywhere, and it's really nice to see that. Not just keeping it symbolic, but actually doing something about it in terms of real life. And that's something that we are going to be seeing in Mysore very soon. So the Karnataka tourism is setting up a Kaveri River Gallery in Mysore. And this is along with the National Academy of Sciences. And this river gallery is going to talk about everything about the river Kaveri. So, the highlights are going to be the whole flow, the geological and the ecological characteristics, and also the social and cultural characteristics, like how it influences life along that, what is the whole, route of the river, the flow of the river. So everything concerned about Kaveri, we'll get to know all of it very soon in Mysuru. And I didn't know, but there are actually two other projects that have already been completed. And this is the Brahmaputra River Gallery project in Guwahati and the Ganges River Gallery project in Allahabad. So already two are done, and this is the third one that we will see very soon. So I'm really happy that we are finally paying attention to our rivers, and it'll be a great way for even tourists to go in and actually understand all about how these rivers function and the importance of the rivers in our life, right? So
So,
that's going to be something really
there are
nice.
so many things that are coming up, and one thing that has happened during the lockdowns that we have been through and the pandemic is that, like, we have been hibernating like animals generally do, and then suddenly when you're coming out, you had 10 things on your bucket list, suddenly it's 20
Yeah,
automatically, right? And then
yeah.
it just gives you more and more incentive to check out India and do weekend trips, do multiple trips instead of that one trip that you used to do every year. So that is
Mhm.
something that is incredible, and I'm really proud of, because the more you visit, the more you get to explore different cultures within India, the more you understand the history of our country, our beautiful country. And, like, the list just goes on. We have the tallest, we have going to be having like the longest tunnels at more than 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
We have we are going to soon have the second tallest statue in the world. We are going to have a beautiful coastal road in our city, Mumbai,
Yes.
and that is going to enable like traffic to move from one place to the other easily. We are going to have a new airport coming in soon, which is also going to help the national carrier and all of the other airlines that are there in India to connect us not only within India but all across India. So there's so much, and we could probably do another episode on a lot of these things. But do you want to have any other things that you want to mention?
I think just two mentions, and like what we said, we like to see things that are all around the world or the icons of the world. And when you get to see something like that in India, it always makes you happy. And on my last trip to Kolkata, I was really pleasantly surprised because suddenly I saw an Eiffel Tower out there, and I said, "Wow, this looks like," and it was quite a good resemblance to the one in Paris. So I didn't know that the Salt Lake district of Calcutta has an Eiffel Tower. In fact, there are two more Eiffel Towers in India, which is at Chandigarh and Kota. Uh, they don't really come that close, but the one at Kolkata is something that it was quite pleasant, and it was nice to see people go in and actually go on the viewing gallery and all of that. So that was quite nice. And similarly, London is known for Big Ben, and if all goes well, then Mysore again will have a clock tower which is going to be taller than the Big Ben. So at 135 meters, Infosys is planning to build a clock tower in their campus in Mysore. So again, that's something to look forward to, and I'm sure it'll become an attraction as well. So yes, so there are really nice things happening everywhere, and like you mentioned, so much to look forward to in India in the coming years. So
I really hope that, listeners, for you, a side note, अगर Big Ben देखना है तो लंदन ही जाना है, because that's how Veena does business, right? So, yeah, but then there's the Eiffel Tower in Kolkata. I have seen it in pictures. I haven't really visited that, but yeah, it's like the miniature monuments of the world coming into India. That is also pretty cool. So that will
no,
be
and on another note, we do have our own monuments as well, which are also new. So we did speak about it in one of our earlier episodes, and that is the Jatayu Earth Center in Kerala. So again, like we said, bringing mythology to life, that is also happening in India. So I think all good things are
the
happening
Jatayu
along.
Earth Center is incredible. I
Yeah.
think that is one of the, like, I don't know who thought of the Jatayu Earth Center and it came up, and we have covered it in a previous episode, but it looks so beautiful in photos. It's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. All right, thank you, Sunila. Good to see you again. We will
Thanks,
meet
Neil.
again next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.